Parties. Let's give a welcome to Chuck Lethen. It's not even Christmas yet, and yet we're still thinking about New Year's parties coming up. Everybody's doing it. I know you are. So to help enhance your fun for New Year's party, I thought we would talk about something cool, something cold, something that fits with the theme of cold stuff today, and talk about the bubbly stuff. Champagne, sparkling wines. Those of you who know what champagne is, do you know what really champagne is? Did you know that it's only allowed to be put on bottles of wine that's made in the Champagne region of France, with a few rare exceptions of American companies who happen to be grandfathered in under a law that was passed back in the 60s. All of the wine that's produced, sparkling wine in the United States, has to have sparkling wine, or can be champagne style. Cannot be called champagne. Champagne is actually made from one white grape and two red grapes that are grown in the Champagne region. Just in case you're wondering, the white grape is Chardonnay, and the two red grapes is Pinot Noir and Pinot Meunier. But it's white. They don't allow it to sit on the skins very much when they're making it. Quick test, right on the corner of a piece of paper real quick. Which does a wine have? Does it have a head? Does it have a nose? Does it have a body? Does it have a robe? Write your choices down. As it turns out, wine doesn't have a head. Beer does. Wine doesn't. Wine has a nose. That's the smell of the aroma. It has a body. That's what it looks like and feels like and tastes like in your mouth. And it has a robe. Wine has a robe. That's the word in the business that they call for the color of the wine. So now you know. Another quick quiz, right in the margin, quickly. How many grapes does it take to make a standard bottle of wine? Does it take 11, 110, 1,100, or 11,000? How many grapes in a bottle of wine? Nobody's writing. If you wrote 1,100, you'd have the correct number. And one that's a little more esoteric for those who are scientifically inclined. How many bubbles do you typically get out of a standard bottle of sparkling wine? Is it 56? Is it 5,600? Is it 56,000? Is it 56 million? There are people who have things to do better in their life than sit around and count bubbles in champagne, but they do. And if you wrote down 56 million, you would have the right answer. Another little fun thing you can ask is, when you open the bottle of champagne, it usually hears a characteristic pop. If you're careful and hold on to it, do not let it drive through into the ceiling and damage your ceiling. You understand that there's pressure inside the bottle. Write down on the margin how much pressure is in there. Is it 1.2 psi? Is it 12 psi? Is it 120 psi? Or is it 1,200 psi? That's why the bottle of champagne has the little punt on the bottom, because it needs that extra strength that comes from the pressure inside. 99% of the world's champagnes and sparkling wines are bottled at 120 psi. By the time that you actually open it, it's probably dropped to around 90 to 100 psi. Another little piece of fun information. You remember Marilyn Monroe? Those of you who don't have gray hair at least remember the name. She had a little fun thing she did with champagne one time that took the world by storm. She took a bath in a bathtub full of champagne. And so the question is, how many bottles of champagne did she put in a bathtub to do that? Was it 150 bottles? Was it 250 bottles? Was it 350 bottles? Or was it 450 bottles? That corresponds to 30 gallons, 50 gallons, 70 gallons, and 90 gallons. Nobody's writing. Because the answer is, it was 350 bottles. That's 70 gallons of champagne that she was going to take a bath in. Okay, now we're all set with some little minor figures and fun things that we can talk about leading up to the New Year's party, if not there. But one last one for you. Some of you who've been here for a long time, such as Rick and probably Rosie, remember this from previous types of speeches I've given about wine-related things. But when you are preparing to toast, remember always to hold your glass out like this when you're toasting someone. In fact, properly, you should extend the glass from your heart to the person you're toasting. Always look at their eyes right across the top of the glass. Okay? Don't do this. This is called the Statue of Liberty. It's very poor form. Here's to you, or here's to you, or here's to all of you. Enjoy your New Year's party. Have a great deal of fun. Cheers. Mr. Toastmaster.